Hello everyone, MikeMoneyGMR here, and I'm back with more Space Engineers. And there's a reason why I haven't even started building my ship yet. I actually forgot something that I forgot to tell you about. We needed to move the O2H2 generator over here. That way we can get hydrogen whenever we touch the survival kit from now on. Before, when we touched the survival kit, we weren't getting hydrogen back, and that could be bad if we decided to use our jetpack a whole bunch to start building, and then we ran out and the hydrogen thing was over there and we had to go use the tank instead to keep refilling, because that's not the most efficient way of doing it. Unfortunately. So one thing that we might want to do is get 20 power cells moving. Now, power cells, I don't remember what they require. Let's see, power cells require iron, silicon, and nickel. So let's just make 20 of them, because we're going to need to make a battery anyway. And that means we're going to have to hold off and still do more hand mining. Now, a question that I'm sure has come up in the previous episodes is, now that I have my base built here, why not start another mining project about right here, and so that I don't have to run as far to my base, or better yet, right here maybe? I could. There's nothing that says I can't do that. But since a lot of people like to do this, I'm not actually going to do this, but say you wanted to make in the future a drilling rig from your base. Well, if you have a mining site right here for stone and stuff, the point of having a mining rig on your base kind of is moot. There's no point in having it, despite the fact that all you're going to get is stone anyway. And you don't want to rely on stone long term. You want to start finding, iron ore, and there could be some right here. I don't know. Let's see. Looks like the only thing below us is ice here, but it's way below us. So there's some possible ore there. There might be some ore over here too. We can just keep running this way and find out. Let's see. Anything? No, sometimes this rock can have ore in it, sometimes it may not. And this is unfortunately one of the times where it doesn't. Now what you can do is you can kind of fly around with your jetpack a little bit and try to find some ore that way. But one thing I've noticed about the mountains is, for some reason, a lot of the ore you find here seems to be buried deep underground. So it actually ends up, not helping you long term. Now, I have this disabled, but there is one thing I kind of want to bring up real quick. If you hit F1, you can go into this little help screen, and you can get this thing called Goodbot Tips. I recommend turning that off. Although it does kind of give you some good tips, for the game if you're new, I would recommend just watching a video otherwise, because, or, kind of following what I've done at the start, because if you try to follow the Goodbot tips, it kind of does it like other games where it wants you to actually hit the buttons before it goes away. And so, it'll teach you how to move, which is the WASD keys and all that, of course, right? And I think the arrow keys, can change your viewing direction, which is useful unless you want to use the mouse. In case you're just playing with pure keyboard controls, which I don't know many people who do, but you could do that. But one of the reasons why I don't recommend using the Goodbot is that one of the tips, it tells you about the functional hack command, but it doesn't explain it very well. It actually says, I want you to grind something down to the hack point and then rebuild it, is what it's supposed to say, but it doesn't say it like that. So I was like saying, wait, am I supposed to have a hacking tool and I just don't have it yet? So I ignored that and finally just disabled the tips altogether and just started watching tutorials. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to build stuff, so I'll be right back.
Inventory full.
You know what, I'm gonna hop back in here real quick and give you one other tip that I probably don't need to give people who have played this game, but don't dig under your base. If you have your base already built into the ground, don't dig it out of it. If you do, everything in your base will stop working until you dig it back into the ground. So just, you know, something to keep in mind. Let's see, how many steel plates do we have? 30? Might be a good start as any to get started on building my ship. So here's my idea for my ship that I'm going to try to build here. I think I will go ahead with that idea that I talked about. The one about, you know, doing a combination of both wheels and thrusters, since we don't really have very many thrusters. So what I'm going to do is build this out and then build it out this way. Like so. I know I didn't really have to do it like that, but you know, that's just the way things go, I guess. Okay, and let's put our cockpit on here. And okay, now this is where I have to make my decision on how I want to do this. Do I want to pipe up the, you know, cargo container on the back, which already I can tell you something really bad. Okay, it's only if it's on the base that it needs the one thing, which is good. Okay, so I usually like to do a medium cargo container, which you should be able to connect to this immediately, yeah. And what I usually do is I just kind of pipe it up. Now, the thing we're gonna need, I hit 4, not 1. There we go. Well, actually, I hit 5, but whatever. We're gonna have to have some blocks on here. Okay, I'm back. I kind of want to put some blocks on here anyway, but I'm kind of figuring out how to do that because I don't want to have to make too many conveyors, you know, so I'm trying to think of that in the long run here of how I'm going to do this. Because what we want is we want the cargo container to face away from the ship. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do this, like, you know, like have the cargo container facing towards me. And we don't want to make this too overly complicated. Oh yeah, I forget. That's why I'm trying to get back to my drill. I mean, not my drill, but my one thing. And we can build the other side of this ramp structure thing that I'm trying to build here later very easily. Oh, but there is a problem with this. I'm not going to be able to put my wheels on right now. Let's see, how can we fix that? Let's see, so it's connected by that, right? So what we could do is build this straight down from here. piece of shit. Put the landing gear attached to that. Or will it not fit? It will fit. Alright, and I think that keeps it on the ground. Alright, moment of truth if we have to rebuild this or not, which I didn't do much work on it, so that's why I'm going to do this. Yep, it didn't work. So, worth a try though. But I do need to rebuild this because the way I had it, I wouldn't have been able to build everything I wanted on it. And that is why we prepare ahead of time, so we can find out the best way to make us capable of building everything we want to build on this. Okay. It's still too close to the base. But that does kind of cause a problem with the way that the land is laid, but I'm sure it won't be a big deal. So we can fix that later. Oh. Okay, just like that. What do we need to get off the jetpack? Ah, now it's too high off the ground. Ah, fuck ass. Okay,
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Fuel can suck a dick because it's back to full. Okay, so what we need to do... Okay, we should have all the... Yeah, we should have all the materials except for the bulletproof glass. I should really be able to reach this. This is crap. Well, we can always put a temporary block down. So that we don't have to use our jetpack. There we go. And like I said, if you want to put some bulletproof glass in, I would just say make 10 and then leave it at that. Alright, so we got that. Now, see, this is the thing I was talking about. So if you put a drill like this, it'll work. Sort of. But what'll happen is you won't be able to really aim it that well. Because, yeah, you'll have your atmospheric thrusters to aim it if you're using the thruster system, but only temporarily. So what I'm thinking is maybe actually use the 3x3 tires instead of the 5x5 because they're actually huge, and we'll show you that in just a minute. So I might use the 3x3 tires instead, but we can just go ahead and put this drill on here like this instead of the way I was going to do it, which is like put a conveyor. Because if you put a conveyor, you can actually put a conveyor and make it point downwards instead. But then you're driving with it facing down, and you would need to have some blocks to keep you off the ground enough so that when you're drilling, you're only drilling into stuff. Anyway, it's complicated. Now, I don't know if we have enough for this thing. We don't have the steel plates, of course. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get a jump on using this just yet. We still have to hand mine some to get the drill ready. Now, a fun thing you could do, and I'm not recommending this, but you could just take your atmospheric thrusters, put some blocks like, here, let's make them yellow instead. Actually, I kind of like using this golden armor for this. Have the cockpit black, but then use golden armor so it looks like a bee. And so you could go, And I can't make any steel plate, can I? Because I have no... Yeah. Shit. Well, just so I can give you an idea, I'm going to just shave it off the ship real quick. Believe me, you'll never get over how annoying it is to be told, you need steel plate, you need this, you need to pull your head out of your ass because you're obviously not paying attention to what you have. But yeah, you could just do this. Yeah, it's gonna be an ugly brick, but you could just do something like this here. And then I'll just kind of show you, because like that should be enough for me to at least show you where we're gonna put them. And just put the thrusters on here, like right there, here, but face it, you know, this way basically. So have one like this on there somehow, and then have one at the front, like something like this, but facing this way. And then let's see, what you need it forward, backwards, right, and left. So unfortunately, we still don't have enough. We need, like I said, we have 4, and so for the right and left, you'd have to face it like this and like this. So we might have to find one thing of cobalt, which kind of sucks, but I mean, we don't have to have a left and right. A left and right is just advisable for keeping your ship upright. So what we could do, if we just want to be able to get off the ground at some point and fly around, we can put one right like this, okay? So that we can get off the ground. And then one in the back, you know, like this, so that we can propel ourselves forward in any direction that we face. However, there is one step that I forgot. You're gonna need a gyro. So yeah, we're still gonna be doing a lot more hand mining, I'm afraid. And that's the thing that people say they don't like about the beginning of the game, is how much mining you have to do. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's like, why do I have to do so much hand mining in the beginning? Like, why can't I just make a miner right away? Well, if you wanted to make a miner right away, what you could do is you can do the Earth base startup. But the reason why that's not recommended is because the best way for you to find out all the controls is to do it this way. Because this way you can wreck your own devices and be like, okay, now I know what to do to prevent that in the future. If you just have a ship pre-built for you on the Earth base, which you will, you'll have a mining ship built for you from scratch on that base. Like, it's already ready to go and ready to have you go and mine with it. But here's the thing, if you do that, you're going to be like, oh, well, this is easy. I can just use this. And then what happens when you blow it up? Like I did. So, yeah, just, you know, keep that in mind. Trust me, that's another thing that doesn't get old either. Hearing her say, inventory full, you just want to shoot her in the head whenever she tells you that. You're just like, listen, I know, I can see the little bar. But actually, I will say that sometimes I have had her needing, like, I've had the need for her to tell me, because there'll be times where I forget to check. And I wish she would tell you when the inventory is full on your ship, but they won't. One thing that's really dangerous is when you're building, like when you're mining with a ship, you wind up overloading the ship very easily. And when the ship gets overloaded, one thing that people don't realize is the ship won't fly, like no matter what. The only way the ship can move is if it's on wheels, and it can move barely at that case. So you definitely want to be cautious, like, or in other words, careful when it comes to filling up a ship full of ore, especially stone. Like a good ship with a good medium cargo container can carry about, let's see, is 1,000 plus 5,000, I think, is what the medium cargo container can carry. I don't know if it tells you or not here. Let me see. Used to store items. It doesn't tell you. But I think it's 5,000 units. And so you can carry up to 6,000. Well, actually, it's not 6,000. It's actually like something like 30,000, like 30K of rock, which you can only carry 3 on your own person. So yeah, you're immediately quadrupling your carry load with the mining ship. But if you load it to that amount, I can tell you right now, you won't be moving very fast anywhere. So if you're really far away from the base, well, you're gonna hate yourself. So just, keep that in mind. And isn't it nice that this game has physics for when rocks roll on the ground instead of you just immediately get them when you find the wall? That I know some people don't, because like it can roll away from you and you can lose it. Like it'll like roll off a cliff or something if you're mining in the wrong spot. But I actually kind of like it in this game, the way you can handle it if you're inside. Oh, that's one of the areas I would like to go to, is either that or that. That looks closer though, so we might try to get to that planet there. So that's our future target for something that I would like to do, is get up to space and go to that. But trust me, that's probably not going to be until like, I'd hate to like be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like part 20 or something. I know some people can build spacecrafts faster than that, but I'm not very good at building spacecrafts, so I like to kind of pace myself on it. So yeah, it might take a little bit, just so you know. Like I said, there's no rush in this because, like, yes, if you have certain mods on, you can make it where enemies attack you by the 3rd day or something like that. Like, there are mods that make enemy units appear in the game, which
Inventory full.
enemy units are on the game from the start. Like, there is a chance for them to spawn on this planet, but it's rare. They more spawn on that planet and around that planet and on the route to that planet. Because I don't think that's the moon. I think that's actually a planet, I want to say. Or that might be the moon of this. I don't know. I've tried getting to that before and I couldn't make it. So, I don't know. It could possibly be the moon. But you need a lot of hydrogen to get to these planets. So, just keep that in mind. I also got another unfortunate thing for you. When it comes to mining with a vehicle, there is one thing that I want to tell you, warn you. If your vehicle runs out of energy, depending on if it's on thrusters or wheels, it'll die and sit exactly where it is, and it won't be able to move until you recharge it. And recharging a stationary vehicle in this game is harder than it sounds. Like, you can actually... Okay, so here's something you can do. Like, here's an option you have. So, a wind turbine. I don't think the game will let you put them on a small grid. So what you would have to do is... Let's do the turbine. There we go. And let me just test this out. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure you can't. Yeah, if you try to place it on the ship, it won't let you. So what you would have to do is you would have to create something that would allow you to make a large grid and attach the ship to that. And what a lot of people do is they use a thing called a rotor, which I don't think we've unlocked that. Oh, we have. Sweet. They usually use these rotors because that will actually connect it up to the ship. You would put this rotor part, basically what you would do is you would take the rotor, craft it, put it on your ship, because the rotor is considered a large scale item. Make a wind turbine on a stationary block similar to that, take it down to the ground, put a block with the rotor on it, and then attach your ship with the rotor, and it should start charging it again if ever it was close to being able to running out but still able to be moved. But like I said, if you completely run out, there's really nothing that you can do at that point. Anyway, I've unfortunately run out of time. I'm sure that there's some stuff I could get out of this to make it where I could keep going, but I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of boring hand mining again. So instead of making you succumb to that or just sitting there waiting, like in my mind, like you wouldn't be waiting, like it'd be quick for you guys, but for me, instead of me sitting here like thinking to myself, okay, I have to edit all this out, oh god, I'm gonna go ahead and just end the episode and do the rest of this stuff hand mining off screen. And I'm gonna hand mine until I have, let's see, enough iron ingots to make another 100 steel plates, which is 847. So I'm gonna get 1,000 units of iron. And like I said, there would be a way easier way of doing this if I could find iron in the world and bring it back, but realistically it would be ridiculously stupid for me to try to fly out there and find it, so we're not going to do that. But anyway, till then everyone, bye.